Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar. It's the voice of Jimmy Effects of GW Trading, and today we are going to be looking at some market setups for next week. Today is Sunday, the 6th of September 2020, and I'll be looking at some charts, looking at some setups, what we have in the market overall, what we expect of the market to in the week to come. Okay, so first let's just quickly go to the CO2 report to see what we have in the CO2 report for last week. Okay, this is the CO2 report that was released for last week, and let's just go straight into seeing what happened last week. And the thing that got my attention, okay, what got my attention in all the report that was reported last week is the euro. Okay, we had the euro actually slide down to 698 in terms of the open interest market participants, okay, in total, and we have swap down here. Okay, so we spoke about this, that when we had this three here, that I was looking at a drop or a significant rise in terms of the euro, but at the moment euro is sort of consolidating. Okay, I spoke about this before, that euro is sort of consolidating during my 7 days presentation, which started on Wednesday, and today we actually had a shift of that position, so we're going to start again by Monday on running our day 4 on Monday. So we're looking at euro possibly doing a consolidation and can actually make one move into forming the wave 5, probably then the drop back one more time. So what we have is that the euro is some sort of ending diagonal, some sort of consolidation as we have seen. So definitely we have seen also a significant drop here too from the last one that was 42 weeks back, and also here too we have to have the 196 also area. So let's look at what we have in terms of the JPY and other safe haven currencies. We have also seen that the JPY also there have been no much change in terms of the JPY. Okay, so we have seen that we moved from 42k, we even moved up into long position of the 62k. Okay, and we also saw this also happen in the market. So definitely if we're to go to look at in terms of our diagram or our chart, okay, what we have here, and we could see that this fusion here, that we had the commercials actually going more long on the JPY, and the non-commercial actually going more long, and the commercials are actually going short here. So we want to follow the large money. So who is controlling the market is actually the commercials actually controlling the market. So when are they starting to give up these positions? We're going to look at when they start to give up these positions and also the area. So we have two things in mind, okay? And we'll go straight into our chart to see what we have here. So last week I spoke about the EURCAD. And I spoke about the EURCAD in a very wonderful fashion, okay? And that if it took, okay, this number of days to actually form, okay, 143 bars, that's 33 days, okay, to form this maxed out or buying climate here, okay, climax here, definitely it's going to take at least half of that to then start the rally to the upside. So we're going to look at, from this point on, we're going to look at 33 days. Half of it will be 16.5 days. We're going to look at 16.5, okay, 16.5 days. Wow. So around this point, will we start looking for opportunities to breaking out this structure according to the Wyckoff rule? So, but definitely we might still expect things to happen around the 9th, okay, 9, okay, to 10, okay, things coming to market because there was a markdown, okay, and definitely we will expect some sort of range here, some sort of range as Wyckoff rule says, some sort of range here before then the mark up one more time into testing. What I expect to see in terms of the 1.61254. I expect to get up there. But quickly, we're just going to look at some setups back in my chart. Let's just go down to the chart and see what we have here. So let's see what I have for last week, how everything fell in the market in terms of overall market sentiments and what also happened in terms of market sentiments. Okay, let's start with VIX. What happened with VIX? We saw VIX moved all the way up here, okay? We spoke about this support for VIX, okay? And then VIX moved all the way up. Look at guys, VIX moved all the way up from this support, which we talked about. So we talked about the VIX expanding, also with the Wyckoff rule, okay? VIX took about, let's see how many days? it's about 162 bars, 59 days. So it should take VIX 25 days to then start the rally. And if you would see that from here on to this point, it took 17 days. Then VIX started the rally, which we also have here. So definitely, as Wakobo will state, it's a very unique setup or strategy. Okay, and looking at the market in terms of the general market overview. Okay, so you want to have a clue of when things will start happening in the market. All right. So I teach this on to the students and how they can actually apply this to their whole entire trading life. So definitely what we are seeing with the VIX, okay, the VIX, okay. So we're looking at the market actually taking a bit out. So definitely if the VIX is going up, definitely we also saw that reflecting with the USD. Okay, we saw that also reflecting on the USD, that the USD indices actually went up during that time. Okay, so let's just quickly bring this up. Why? All right. What happened last week? We're trying to understand what happened last week, and then also understand how we intend to approach the market this week with regards to what happened last week. Okay, so I like to start my analysis with what happened then and what's happening now. All right, we then saw VIX make this high. Then during this time, VIX was dropping down, and you can see that VIX hit the bottom, and you see that starting to slow down. And you see when VIX started to rise up here, you can see this drop here coming in. Okay, VIX then started to drop back. Okay, some sort of kind of followed that trend. Okay, but definitely we are seeing this going up here. All right, VIX is going up. Okay, and we are also seeing the USD actually still going up as well. Okay, so we will expect some correlation between the VIX and the USD. Okay, all right. So all the same, let's look at what we have next and what also happened next last week. Let's see the yield. Okay, the yield. Okay, the yield was actually still going down. Okay, but yield some sort of guided strength. Okay, some sort of did massive push up here on Friday. I believe that was because of the NFP that was released on Friday, and yield actually went up. Okay, so if yield went up there, I think that then bond price should be going down. So we also saw that reflected on the bond price. So bond actually went down, yield went up way more. Okay, so guys, I would really see a huge possibility of what could look like an inverted and shoulder here, guys. This there is a huge possibility of an inverted and shoulder here. So if this would happen here, I would see a possibility of inverted and shoulder here. So if this area here should hold price down, we can then see a head and shoulder pattern forming, the head and shoulder pattern. And by the time the bond starts going up from here, we can actually see the USD drop one more time. Okay, the yield will drop one more time, treasuries drop one more time. All right, and all those things will happen in the market, and you will see the VIX actually still continue to rise up. All right, okay. Let's go there. See what we have here. Okay. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Okay, so we expect a lot of things to happen in the market. So, but in the week to come, what we will really concern ourselves with would be the build out of the card. Okay, we will build up the card. Let's look at what we have with the card. Okay, the card. All right, we have card actually not hitting this previous high here, which was far back January 2020. So we look at this high for card in terms of the indices, how card is faring. Okay, so we have card actually approaching this high. All right, 77. Okay, because that was the last structured area which we then saw a drop. It was 2020 high. It was in January. Before then this whole drop, and we have a retest of this structure. So we can actually see how everything would fare in terms of the card inside of this area, but definitely there is a huge possibility of the card actually bouncing off this position here. All right. Let's go down to a weekly time frame to see what we have from a weekly time frame and how we intend to approach this. From a weekly time frame, we can identify that CAD is trading inside of what look like a range. Okay, some sort of range, right? Bound range, not really a very, wide one. Okay, some sort of range in this format. All right, some sort of range here. We have CAD trading some sort of range. All right, so we have the lower boundaries here, which CAD bounds off. We also have key structure here, which we might then see a reduced range. Okay, and reduced range here for CAD. Okay, so that if there could be a bounce of this structure, I think we might then see CAD struggle a little bit or even back into testing the lows, which is also a huge possibility because the last time we had CAD testing those lows was far back here, 2015, 2016. Okay, 2016, that was during the great financial crisis. And also a lot of things happened in the market. We could also see they could also drop during that time down to its lowest, and we also saw the CAD actually move. So since that time, we never had a breakout of this huge structure. So definitely, we can then expect that the CAD, okay, can actually consolidate of some sort within a very small premise, okay, small premise because this contraction should have sent CAD back into testing this, but didn't, then fell down here. But definitely this area here is a very key structure, definitely. So we want to take a great look at this structure basically and how price will then react inside of this structure. So far, we have not seen any reaction of that structure yet. And by the time we actually have to see that reaction of the structures, I think that will be a very nice time to actually start looking for probabilities and probabilities in the market. All right, to decipher what we want to do next in terms of the CAD and how we want to position for the CAD. So looking at it from monthly time frame, we can also identify that we are approaching, we've approached that key structure there. Okay. And so far for the monthly candle have started being bearish here. Okay, so we can expect some CAD business coming to the market and that will be quite awesome. So let's go straight into our chart. We've talked about sentiments and how we intend to approach the market for next week. We'll just go straight into the chart and then let's see how we will do this. Okay. All right. So we'll start with the major pace. Okay. Start with the major pace. We have the ECB. ECB probably next week. So let's just quickly see what we have in terms of the news for next week. Let's see what we have for news for next week. Let's make that the red news. I don't wanna see all this junk. I don't basically look at all this nonsense. The actually by my eyes, I look at the red news, what we have for the CAD Wednesday. Okay, overnight rate Wednesday, and we have the euro. Okay, the monetary policy ECB on Thursday. Okay. Well, a lot of things to come into the market. So let's just quickly see what we have before the ECB coming into the market, and then let's see what we have. I spoke about the euro being some sort of consolidation. Okay, so we are seeing the euro in terms of consolidation here, which actually makes this high A B. So we are having some sort of range bound movement. So we can have this is our A, B, C, D. You can expect one more rise, one more drop to form our E. Then we can then expect to rise up from that point. I will expect to see, but probably if that happens, if I can have a break below the structure, huge break, I will know that this is gone. Okay, so I will definitely look for more opportunities down to downside. Okay, that's for the euro. So let's see what happened here. We had a lot of statements coming in for last week about the euro actually strengthening too much. All right, ECB actually got afraid, euro strengthens too much. It could actually get to 1.2, but I expect the euro to get to 1.22. All right, but that will be dependent on the dollar. All right, the dollar strength or weakness coming into the market. So, but for last week, okay, for last week we saw the dollar actually make one more drop. last 2 weeks. Okay, last week made the low of the week on Tuesday, from Monday, Tuesday. I then started to direct from that point on. We now saw that possibly we could still see further rise, but definitely nothing pointing to us in terms of the candles. Okay, nothing pointing to us in terms of the candles or the possible contribution to the upside. But definitely, I want to see how the next Monday candle will actually react inside of the area, because definitely this is going to be where I want to start putting up my trading garment, because I spoke about this in my session last week, that here is a very key structure, and if I could have a break above this structure, I would then look at breaking above the structure on the daily time frame, closing above, and also breaking above the structure on the daily time frame. Then I could start being bullish on the USD indices. So I would not really be looking to take any trade in terms of long in the US indices, because definitely US indices actually is in a very key area here. So this is a very key area here. Um, Okay, I speak about key area. These are hidden structures in the market, and if you understand this, if you actually part of my story, you understand this, the better. Okay, these are key areas in the market, and these are hidden structures. You want to see price come into testing, because in the bit to the downtrend, this was actually where price faced a little bit of resistance, and then we had this drop. So definitely, we are coming back into testing that structure, and if that structure tends to hold, you might then see one more drop to the downside in terms of the DXY. But definitely, I would actually fancy that one more drop, one more time also coming to the DXY. All right. So looking at it from monthly time frame, what also happened from monthly time frame? From monthly time frame, we saw that USD indeed fell off a very huge cliff. Okay, so this was structured far back 2019 low. This was also 2019 low. So we had right here test. So this huge structure here, we can actually have a retest of that structure, which is a huge possibility to before the now the next structure testing. But I expect to see the DXY come into this low, probably before the end of 2020. So definitely we might actually see the euro actually make further rise. So the euro can actually still make further rise, and which is also a huge possibility in terms of the euro USD. Can actually make further rise into testing the 1.3 level. Okay, with a huge possibility too. I would really fancy this level first. Okay, I really fancy this level first because this was 2018, this 2018 structure. So I really fancy the test of this zone. And by the time we actually come up with that, I think that would be a very nice area to start looking for short opportunities then and only then. So definitely we want to be careful with how we trade the Euro USD. Definitely the Euro USD, I spoke about this, is still consolidating of some sort. So definitely if we can make a high in the week, I think that would be a nice time to actually start shorting. So definitely we are looking at Euro sort of consolidating. Okay, I spoke about the sort of consolidating of some sort. Okay, so we're actually expecting more consolidation to downside. So if that would be the situation, I think looking at the Euro USD, okay, I think we will then look to see some highs. If we can actually have a rally into testing this high in the week, then that would be a nice time to actually look for one more drop. But definitely, I want to see the euro actually still drop more. Okay, in terms of consolidating before down the next rally to the upside. So definitely, we can actually have some sort of range bound trading for some time before then looking for new direction to head into. But definitely, if the USD comes in strong, okay, so we might not really have much move to the upside. If the USD actually comes in strong, we don't have much move with the euro USD. But definitely, the euro can actually be going up, but the USD also will be going up. So definitely, we're not having much movement in terms of the euro USD to the upside. So, but I expect some real push-ups to the upside definitely. So definitely we are in uptrend. So we'll look for opportunities to actually take some short-term trades, okay, to the downside. But definitely, I think this area would be very cool area to see, and that would be very awesome. So let's look at what we have here. So that's when we saw this huge structure here. 3 weeks ago, huge structure broken, came back. We can actually have a retest of that structure there. So if we can have a run to the finally, okay, and can have a run from this point on to the structure, I think early on Monday, Tuesday, I think you can have that run. I think that would be a very good, that would be a very good time. That'll be a very good time. You can have a run from this point up to here. And that'll be a very nice time to actually look to short the euro USD. If and only if you can see some strength coming in with the USD. But definitely, I don't want to do this with the USD. I can actually do this with some other currency. All right, so look at the USD card. We talk about USD card when price was inside this area on Friday during my presentation. I talked about it that I want to see drop coming into the market because of the card. Okay, let me show you guys what happened there. When we had the card actually did this consolidation back into the structure here, we knew that definitely there is no way for card to go ahead of the news rather than card to go up. So if card is going up, definitely the USD card, okay, USD card should then be going down. And definitely we actually saw that also happening. From Thursday, Friday, card made high, then started to drop back into this support one more time. I think that would be a very nice area to actually hop up the trade. And we talk about we hopped up the trade on market close. So definitely we want to get any trade off this point anymore until you find a clear structure in the market and what we want to do. Definitely, I really would expect to see card business coming in, but overall, looking at the card from trading view and also looking at card from in here, I think card is currently testing a very key structure here, and I don't know how that would affect the card in general, okay, for the weeks to come, but definitely we can actually have a reaction of the structure because definitely card come into a very key structure in terms of the monthly time frame, so we can actually have a reaction of that structure there for the card and have a reaction of the structure for the card. That would be cool to see. So definitely card came into this very huge structure here. You might actually see a reaction of that point for card. All right, let's see what happened there. Let's take some sort of consideration, but not. Let me just take this out. So card is actually coming to test a very key structure here. We can actually have the card drop one more time, and definitely if the card will drop one more time from that point, we can actually see the EURUSD actually make for the right to the upside. That would be also cool. That would be also cool to see. You can actually see that also coming into the market. Okay, so what do we have with the GDP? GDP also dollar strength coming into the market, and we can also see the GDP USD actually. The whole of last week, we actually saw more of dollar strength, right? Dollar flexing its little muscles, started coming strong, and most of those um things okay coming to the market, and we could also see most of those players that were trading against the dollar actually capitulate of some sort and do a lot of adjustment. So definitely want to see where next the dollar is heading to, and that should give us a heads up in terms of what we want to be doing in terms of the dollar. But definitely here is a very huge candle here. Looking at the NZD indices, how the NZD indices is actually feeling. I spoke about the NZD indices that unless I can see a break, a cool break below the structure, then and only then will I look to short the NZD. But definitely, if I cannot have a clean break below the structure, because on the daily time frame we have a very huge structure here, and definitely we can also see how price then broke above it, then came back to bounce off this structure. For whole of last week, it's actually support. So if this continues to rally up, definitely we might actually see the NZD USD actually rally up. But definitely, I think that will be dependent on what the dollar will be doing. So definitely, we'll look at everything in the market and how it's going to be trading in the market. So the NZD currently, but looking at it from a monthly time frame and how we are from the monthly time frame, looking at the trend that's started far back. Here, trend far back here, 2017. Right, this trend line had actually been holding price, and looking at how this is faring in the market generally, I think it would be a nice time to actually look for short opportunities with the NZD alone only. Okay, because definitely whatever happened here, I see a huge, many of the times I speak with students a lot of times, and what we tend to look for in the market is reasons to be involved in a position, not just trading as a whole, but reasons to take that bold step. Okay, if you want to be seeing some things confirming what actually you're saying the market is actually correct or not. We have this huge structure here, okay, in the market, and we have this huge range, as we spoke about many of the times with the students. We talked about this 3 months ago with the USD to this is a range, up here range, down here range. Market will decide to do one of the two. So if you are a trader and you feel that NZD has potentials of going to downside, definitely you might want to see a little bit of retracement, at least to more than half of this structure before you can then look for showing opportunities. So definitely, what do we have with the NZD? So looking at this range as a whole, okay, for last month retracement, so definitely this whole range, you want to see up, down of this range. All right, guys, we want to see up, down of this range. All right, so this is the range, and we are looking at this range here. All right, so we currently see that price have been retraced up here, up here. So if we could have a break below, clean break below here would only send price down to the low. So until we have a clean break below the structure, we cannot take any trade. No matter what happens, no matter when, we refuse to take a trade of those structures. Okay, so we need a clean break of this structure. Only then will we take any trade. So looking at it from a H4 perspective, so what do we have? We have currently this as support. So definitely we want to see a huge daily candle close below here on the retest. We then look to sell the NZD to the downside. So looking at the JPY, what happened with the JPY for last week, guys? Huge structure here far back 2019. Also, when there was a fusion in terms of the COT, and we were looking at this huge structure here, definitely there was a filling candle, this field for 2 months. Let's look at what we have from a review perspective. For last week, we had this filling candle, and we saw huge hurried up on Monday, okay, early in the week. On Monday, we saw how that huge structure was filled in completely to this very top, and that actually formed a double top. Before then, the whole of the week, we actually had those drops coming into the market. So definitely, what we are seeing with the JPY is yet to decide what really would be happening in terms of the JPY and how we are going to approach this. But definitely, if we are in an uptrend, okay, guys, if you are in an uptrend, I think we just want to follow the trend and look for those opportunities to follow those trends to profit value. I think that would be one of the best things to be doing, because definitely the trend is your friend and you want to follow just the trend. But definitely you want to follow the trend in a very unique way. You don't want to just follow the trend randomly, and you want to do the right thing in terms of while following the trend. You want to do the right thing, and you want to follow the trend in a very cool way, on a right cool manner. You're going to be making profit of the forex market, because definitely you want to be trading for the money, all right, not for some sort of glory. Okay, I don't trade for some sort of glory. I trade for the money. I don't come into the forex market. I want to be making money of the forex market. Definitely, that's what I want to be doing. All right, so we have some sort of support here, huge support here. Okay, we have another huge support here. Let's bring this up. Okay, this is huge support here. I don't know what this is, but let's look to reflect on the weekly time frame. So let's see how. Okay, what we have here, I think more unique support should be here. I think that should be where we should have an unique support. Now should be where we have a unique support. It should be inside of that area, guys, because this is where everything moves up, following level up. So I can expect a test of this zone one more time, guys. I would expect a test of this zone. So definitely the JPY can actually drop one more down to actually test the zone, thereby also JPY actually going up. So maybe early Monday we might actually see the JPY strength coming up. So if you're trading the USD JPY, okay, JPY, you can actually see the USD actually make one more drop. Euro JPY can actually make one more drop. So looking at that, we've talked about a lot of about the major pairs. Let's look at the Aussie Australian dollar. What's happening in Australian dollar? Wow, I spoke about many of the times that whatever is happening in the whole general market, I think it's not out, because also similar to what happened here far back 2008. Okay, we actually saw this big move. Okay, big. Everything looked as if it's not going to move, but continue moving. Continue moving, you know, till we hit this high back in 2013. So definitely we can actually have a test of this structure one more time. If and only if, okay, everything would align well. Okay. But it's a huge possibility too. We can actually still continue making further rise with the AUD, and if we can actually see dollar going down, we can expect the AUD to go up definitely, because that seems to be the correlation between those two pairs. So looking at how everything is faring, I think we'll just dive into the Euro GBP, and we looked at some Euro GBP. Okay, pays. Okay, these are minor pays. Then we're going to look at it, what's happening there. All right, what's happening there? Okay. All right. So here we have the EURCAD. Okay, I spoke about the EURCAD with the Wyckoff rule. I want to see the EURCAD actually come into expanding. Okay, and at the moment it looks really cool. So this is lows, this is the high. Currently, I want to see some more sideways movement expansion before then the next one to the upside. That would be very cool to see. But definitely, we are seeing a bit of downtrend here, and Okay, so we're looking at some sort of expansion. Okay, I look at the expansion because definitely looking at from a monthly time frame, I don't think you might actually see the Euro USD actually go further down to downside because after this we actually have this EURCAD contract for more than 2 years. Okay, so the whole of 2 years from 2018, 2019 was actually contracting and you can have the discussion coming up. So this was a huge support here and we cannot expect to break below this huge support here. Definitely that would be very cool to see how everything will rally to the upside. So huge support down here. Um, we just need to see the market actually form that base. Okay. So far we have one candle, two, three. So this will actually be our base which we want to see. But definitely we want to find some bit of confirmation actually stating that indeed this is our base. Definitely while price was moving up to the upside, here we face some little support. So we can actually expect a test of this zone. That'll be the only time we look to come into that trend. All right. So we look at our base instead of here, some sort, right, and we'll just look at some sort of support in there. All right, some sort of support in there. All right, sort of support in there, and we have some sort of support in there. I think that would be nice. That would be a nice area to start looking for those buy opportunities back up here, and I think that would be cool. Probably if we can have lows being tested early in the week. Okay, Monday you can then see the Monday break, sort of test this area. Then Tuesday we can look for some sort of reaction off to actually take us back into the zone. That would be very nice play to take. All right, so we look at probably range 200 pips. That would be cool. You know, trades such as this, I think our risk could be not too wide. Uh, 50, I think it's 60 pips down to this low. Um, 60 pips, that should be fine. Depending, we can actually look at the ATR for the week. Daily ATR 102, 102 daily ATR. So I think if we can drop, probably, you can actually look for a drop of um, 40 pips, you know, just the low 40 pips, 40 pips. That should be cool. Let's say out to 280 pips. Let's look at the ATR. If we drop down into this low, I think that'll be a cool area to start looking for buy opportunity. Okay, Euro GBP. Euro GBP should drop one more time. I expect the Euro GBP to still continue further making drop as the Euro actually not ready to make their rally, but definitely I don't expect a break of this structure here. Okay, time frame, Monday time frame. So we can actually have from a Monday time frame, we have seen that this was a huge area here, but definitely we might see okay some sort of test, okay, some sort of test coming in here in terms of how everything is faring. Looking at Fibonacci 2, you see this is actually 61.8 Fibonacci level. This can actually form a very big support area because definitely expect a reaction of some sort to then take price back into the 0.09 level. Definitely, I want to see price come back into the high. I want to see price come back and testing this high. Definitely, the euro should be strong to coming back and test this high, but only when it is ready. Okay, only when it's ready. Okay, from Monday time frame, I really would like the possibility of seeing that also happening in the market coming back to test this high one more time. Double bottom, very strong double bottom here. I can still expect a test of this high one more time. Okay, the Euro NZD. We spoke about the Euro NZD that want to be going on a buy trade inside of here. So we actually try to break even and we're out of the trade. We don't want to be taking any trade with the NZD for now with the Euro. Okay, since Euro actually still going down, we can actually see the NZD still continue going up. So definitely if we can have a test of this zone early on Monday, we can then look to take advantage of the short trade set up here. Okay, short trade set up here, that'll be a cool area to actually look for those trades. Okay, so short trade set up will be very cool. We can actually see those coming to the market and we can actually take those short trades. Okay, in the back into the support. That would be very cool to see. Okay, possibly would expect a lot more. Okay, a lot more from the back into the support. I think it's a huge possibility too. No signs of reversal of some sort. I actually expect price to come into testing this. Drop this one more time. Alright, so that could also happen. We just don't see how price will fall, but definitely EURUSD is very buy. There's no buy opportunity for now. I think it's a couple of days, okay, see how everything will fare out in the market. Definitely, you can hit this high one more time early in the week. I think that'll be the next time to actually short back into this low. Okay, GBCHF should continue to rise because of the CHF weakness coming to the market. We can actually see that coming to the market, and we should expect to see further see uprise with the CHF. Also with the Euro CHF, also we can actually expect to see further uprise with the Euro CHF as well because of the CHF weakness, and that'll be very cool to see. Okay, talked about this many times, and I'm still saying it one more time again that we can expect for that more rises to the upside. Definitely the CHF actually coming in weak. Okay, the CHF not really because of the euro strength, but the CHF weakness, and we can actually continue to see further rise because of the euro CHF, and also every player we got the CHF continue to see make more upside. Okay, because of the CHF weakness. Looking at the USD actually made more rise in the week here into testing this high, and definitely can still continue to make those further rise because of the CHF weakness. We spoke about it a lot of times with the students, and if we say this one more time, and we can actually expect the USD to actually further make rises because of the CHF weakness. Not looking at CHF, how everything is from the CHF. We spoke about this with the CHF, also similar to the setup which we spoke about before, and this was a huge structure in terms of the monthly time frame, and you can see how price then came and reacted after that structure. So definitely we can actually have the CHF drop back in one more time, testing the flow before then looking for a new direction to go in the market. So definitely we might actually see continue to see further drops as we have broken through this key area here. This is a very cool setup to see. Okay. So definitely we can still expect further weakness coming into the CHF and how it will fare in the market for CHF. So definitely the Euro CHF should continue to go up guys. We'll find it low just to continue to go up with the Euro CHF and also with the CHF base. But the GBP JPY actually can start going down, and also we look at some sentiment pace and how it will fare with the sentiment pace. We can actually see the CHF JPY start to go down right from that point on. All right. Also, we see how more sideways we were for last week for the NZD CHF JPY, but definitely we want to see more drop coming in. Okay, let's just quickly make this. So we actually see that this candle wasn't filled in. So this was rejected. The filling was rejected, and everything closed bearish. Definitely, there are more bears coming to the market. Also, we want to see those weakness coming and reflecting the market generally. So you can have an uprise first on Monday. I think that would be a nice time to actually look for those short opportunities in the market. Definitely you want to see this coming to the market. All right, definitely we expect to test this lows one more time. Probably break below it. I don't know. In short, I think this is a huge okay structure here. We can expect to see a retest of. Okay, we'll just get this off. In the bit to upside, we tested this zone that was broken. In the bit to the downside, so if you're having a bit to the downside, I think this area here would be one price we want to come in. All right, I think this will be one area that price would look for bid to come in because this was where everything started. All right, so we can expect that drop coming into this structure here, and that would be very cool to see. And if that happens, I think that would be very nice to set up. Yeah. Okay, so I expect a drop, massive drop, way more down to downside. You know, a lot of things happened here quite back here. You can actually see that this was trading in some sort of uptrend and stuff. Some sort of uptrend. So if this is actually starting to fail, okay, this is starting to fail, this one is starting to fail. I think this will be very first area price would then look to bounce off from. This is key huge support area, guys. But area guys, price will actually look to bounce off this point, can actually continue to the upside, but if we can actually have price coming to break this structure on the retest, we look to see continue going for the downside. That would be very classic trade to see us. That would be very awesome, guys. Very awesome. Okay, ADJPY can actually continue to make further rises or further downside, but that would be another moment, and we're not going to be taking any trade because this was a huge structure here in the market. I want to see how that area would then react generally as to the whole general market overview. So let's just quickly make this and we put this up here. Then let's see what's going to happen in terms of how price is going to play inside of that area. If price would actually come into respecting that area. I think that would be a very good time to look for those trades, and that would be really classic though. Really classic. So we need to see a break, a clean break of the structure, and that is very classic too. All right, and only then we'll look for those. So definitely we can expect a retest with the anti-rise trend coming in. Okay, but if you have a test up here, taking over the let's see how we can actually start showing the downside. All right, guys, AED card. I expect more further strength coming to the AED card. All right, and you also have this low spending here. I don't know, this low spending. You can actually have one more drop, which is definitely slow. That'll be very long. Okay, I don't know. It all would depend. It all would depend on many things. It all would depend on many things. This is already a retest. That's right. All right. A lot of things in play for this week. I don't know. I think best avoid the AED. Avoid the AED this week. Also the JPY. We'll stick with the card. We'll stick with the card. The card has huge clarity, right? But test key area, the card JPY. If card will start to drop, I think it will start to drop. If that JPY comes in strong, I think card we might actually see drop for a minute. What are we seeing, guys? Downtrend? Downtrend. Alright. So we can drop back into testing low one more time. Card JPY should drop one more time. But in the near term, probably we can look at 2 months, probably that drop for a minute. Huge structure here. Just need to see how everything will fare in terms of this area here. So we can look for the drop coming in. All right, guys, that'll be all for today. Tomorrow, see you on tomorrow. You send all out the emails on your various emails. You're gonna see them and the schedule. So if you schedule for morning sessions, if you schedule for the evening sessions, depending on your time zone, you can actually see Hopping live. And if you miss a 7 day, I tell you, you've missed a lot of things, and how we actually come into approaching the market using the CO2 report. Believe me, guys, you want to trade in the shadow of the smart money. You don't want to be trading in isolation. You want to trade with the smart money. So when you trade with the smart money, it makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, it makes it a whole lot easier to make money off the forex market. Okay, so I love you all, and may your pips be above average, and don't always miss my presentation, because it's gonna always be super packed. I wish you all the best in the week to come. Ben blessed. Peace out. Love you all.